Hey everyone, it's Carla Rieger, and I'm so excited today to talk about reinventing your life. And I have an amazing expert with me today, Dolly Garlo. I'll tell you a little bit more about her in a moment. But this topic is good if you've been feeling like a lack of motivation lately, especially when it comes to your work life. It might mean it's time to reinvent yourself. There's certain symptoms, and I know people cyclically go through these times in their life, and I know I have, and it's really helpful to get someone like Dolly to help you during those times. Don't try to do it by yourself. So in this interview today, it's really good for people who are professionals, especially in midlife where you've sort of achieved all kinds of great things, and then you're kind of going, what's next? It's also great if you've been in any kind of independent sales role, like network marketing or real estate or financial professional. And again, you can hit that time in your life where like things aren't working. I don't know how to change it, and I'm too busy with my life to figure it out, right? Or, it's also useful if you're in the experts industry of any sort, like I am, and like Dolly is, where you're a speaker, trainer, consultant, coach, facilitator, workshop leader, that kind of thing. Again, you can hit those times in your life where it's not working and you need someone to help you, get your path through the forest. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of background on this subject that apparently people are reinventing themselves at a rate never before seen in recorded history, which is really interesting. That's why I think people like Dolly are, needed so much. So, like the average person changes their role in life like at least 6 times as compared to a generation or two ago where you'd get this job and you'd stay there the rest of your life, or you'd be a wife and mother your whole life, right? Now people are, going to college and they travel, then they get a job, and then they get another job, and then they start a business, and then they stay home with the kids, and then they start another business, and a lot of people don't know how to transition into those new things. And so now there are career transition experts out there in the world. And so I think there's just a lot of people in the world kind of staying stuck for way too long because they don't have this kind of help, professional help that's available right now. So that's why I'm excited to have Dolly Garlo on today, who is here to talk about beyond career success. So design an inspired new path for life, leadership, and legacy. And she's going to tell you a bit about why that's so important. It's for professionals, leaders in their field who reach that kind of mid-career and beyond, and they're longing to reinvent themselves, to create something more fulfilling, and need to create like a plan. Not only the clarity, but a plan, and they need a confidential space in which to do that. Because sometimes, it's just going on, but you don't want to talk to your family about it. You don't want to talk to your peers about it because, you're going to be rocking their boat, and you kind of need to talk to somebody who's not going to judge you, that's going to be objective and help you see the forest for the trees before you start launching into these explorations with people whose lives might change if you make those changes. Do you know what I mean? So let me give you a little personal example, intro to this topic, because I want you to know how important getting this type of help is. In whatever way works for you at this time in your life. But most people reach a time in their life where, as I said, they feel like they need to rekindle that passion and interest, especially when it comes to focusing your energies in daily life. And so this is what happened for me. I call it hitting the winter of change. It's where you've sort of achieved something in your life, or your kids have left home, or you've just finished this really intense project, and you can't just move on to the next thing. You kind of go into this kind of winter time. And that happened for me. And it was about, 16 years ago. And I was I had created this goal of myself to be this motivational speaker, traveling the world, getting standing ovations, making a difference for a lot of people. And about 6 years after I started my business doing that, I achieved my goal. There I was. I had done a series of sales, rallies, and it was the last one. And I was on stage, I was getting my standing ovation, and I just felt so proud of myself and so happy that I'd made such a difference for people. I went back to my hotel room. There I am in my nice 5-star hotel room. And I went into this kind of weird place of depression and this slump of energy, because I realized, tick, I'd achieved my goal. And now what? Now what do I do? And it wasn't everything I thought it would be. You know how they often say it's the journey towards your goal that's actually the most interesting. Once you get it, it's sort of like, oh, okay. Right? And that ushered me into 2 years of being in what I call the winter of change. I was completely lost. I had no energy, no mojo for doing my business. When you run your own business or you're in any kind of leadership role, I mean, you need enthusiasm, motivation. I had none. And it's so hard to keep going. And my health got affected. My relationships got affected. I didn't feel like going out or doing anything. Of course, my finances went down. It was bad. And finally at the end of 2 years, I found someone like Dolly. And I really wish I'd had her right at the beginning to help me sort it out. So what she did was she re-looked at my whole life. And she said, so what's not working about this life? Well, I'm on the road all the time, 50 speaking engagements a year. I'm always on airplanes and in hotel rooms. It was affecting my marriage. It was affecting my health. I had no social life. I had no hobbies. And I was talking to people for an hour, and then I'd never see them again, and I never knew what happened to them after that. And it sort of felt this lonely life. And so she helped me redesign my life so that I would share my expertise. And so it wasn't about changing what I did, it was like how I did it. So for me, it was about finding, different ways of sharing my information, writing books, doing phone coaching, doing online learning programs so that I could be in Hawaii and run my business, so that I would be home more often. I could have hobbies. I started a theater troupe. And so I was around more often. My marriage got better, my health got better, and my life started to thrive. And that's why Dolly calls her business Thrive Consulting, because if you're burned out, if you're not thriving anymore, it's not just about looking at your career. So you get your whole life and redesigning your whole life. I could never have done that by myself. So today we're going to explore things like the 8 key elements you must consider at this masterful time of life to create true life satisfaction, how to most effectively decide what's important to you now, after a focus primarily perhaps on responsibilities for other people, the biggest factors that can stop you from going for what you really want or paralyze your progress. So that's how I felt, paralyzed. And this is a bigger issue often than financial security. And Dolly's going to talk about that. And what to do when obstacles hit. And it's not like if obstacles hit, but when obstacles hit, because you need somebody to help you navigate that. And most important steps to take to make the move from where you are now to where you want to go quickly and smoothly without regret. And I know about me, I've made big life decisions and I didn't think it through properly and I didn't work off someone to help me, and then I regretted it. And then you're completely obligated yourself in a new direction. And so anyways, and so much more. So in order to transform your expertise and experience into more of what you want now, it's best to make a comprehensive plan. So you'll see obviously more background about Dolly here, but let's dive right in. So I've been doing a little intro here. Let's turn it over to Dolly. Here's my first question for you. You say that being ready for something more or new after reaching mid-career mastery is a problem involving unknown territory. Would you say a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. I'm thrilled, Carla, by your story, because I've lived that story and I've worked with so many other people who've lived that story in one way or another. Every element that you covered, I had something to share about. But, it's sometimes when we think about this, the old Stephen Covey, if your ladder is leaning up against the wrong wall, you're climbing the ladder and you get to the top or toward the top, you realize, wow, this is not the wall I want to be leaning this ladder up against. So what do I do? Well, all I can see is this wall. This is what I've been headed for. But there's also in this sort of mastery time of life where you get to the top of the ladder and you're at the top of the wall and you're looking over the wall, and it kind of like you said, you arrived and you have this, is this all there is kind of experience about the top of the wall. And then you're looking out over the top and you don't recognize anything out there. The only thing you've been so focused on your career, you've been so focused on that path, but you're ready for something else. And the question is, what is that? It's a big question. And it could be so many things. By the time you reach what I called mid-career mastery, people have more skills and more talents and more abilities than they give themselves credit for. It's true of almost everybody, because they think, well, this is all I can do. This is all I've been doing. And they don't realize that all of that they've been doing is so many different things that transferable applications. One great example is a physician who was in private practice as a medical oncologist. She was tired of cancer medicine. She loved her patients, but it was really hard. She had some ideas for doing something else that involved inventing a product and bringing it to market and going into business, but she didn't think she had any business skills. And I just used to think, my God, the amount that business is so simple by comparison. And not only that, you've been in private practice. You've been in a business. But, people don't often see that they have things that will apply going forward. But the bigger thing is, if you don't have an idea of what you want to do next, that winter of discontent, or that, the winter that you described, how do you figure that out? How do you know how to take what you know and what you can do and what you love and do something with it? Because even if you reach a point financially where you don't even have to work, which happens for a lot of people by mid-career, maybe a little later than that, they've worked hard, they've saved, they put their money away, all of a sudden they have this financial security or even financial independence, but they don't know what to do with it. And so when you have that many options, it can be kind of a scary time. Yeah.
Fully paralyzing. And so what do you mean that time is accelerating? What's that term mean for you?
Well, don't you remember when you were a kid and it was forever till the holidays rolled around? It's forever. Every year the Wizard of Oz would be on, but it would be forever until it was on again. Now it's kind of on cable, so it's on all the time. But the holidays only rolled around. But now it seems like they're here. I've been saying, can't we just celebrate the holidays once every 5 years? I'll be ready by then now, because it seems like it's just, it was just New Year, right? And now it's the middle of the summer or it's the fall again. And like, how did we get here? And scientifically, we know that time is a construct that we make up, basically. And how do you stretch it? How do you make time last longer? It's by creating new experiences. And that's what, you have the opportunity to do at this sort of masterful mid-career point, is create new experiences, not just for work, but for life, for all the other aspects of your life, for those things that you've set aside, perhaps, things that you've aspired to that you never had time for. How do you put all of that together? Because, there's, especially for women, there's been this debate, can women have it all? And I don't think anybody can have it all right now, but just about everybody can have it all or their all, what's important to them, at some point in life or throughout their lives, if they know what that consists of, what's enough for them, what's important to them, what do they value, what do they enjoy doing, what skills do they prefer. When you can take a comprehensive look at all of that and put that together and then create new experiences, you can expand that experience of time, and time isn't just flying by reminding you that you're not doing the things that you're interested in doing or that you'd love to do.
I know, and that can be so
right.
that can really, that can lead to burnout, and that can have a hole in your heart.